Alrighty, morning everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on another beautiful day. In today's video we are gonna do an hopefully pretty in-depth review on this beautiful watch, the Rolex Explorer 2 or Mark II, whatever. I just usually say Mark II. I think Rolex Explorer 2 is just the more proper way of saying it. So in the last video where we unboxed this beautiful watch, we went over pretty much everything that comes with the watch, and I immediately made a mistake. I told you all that the orange hand on this watch would be a GMT hand. That is obviously not correct. You can put another time zone in there. Yes, in theory you could do that. However, it is actually not intended to do that. This is just a 24-hour hand. So with the 24-hour hand, it basically goes around 24 hours and not like 12 hours and 12 hours again, like your normal hour hand would do. So that's why there's 24 numbers on the bezel of the watch, pretty much just so that people that go into regions, as this is obviously the Explorer, that go into regions where it's always day or always night, or caves and stuff like that where there's no daylight, that those people can still tell what time of day it actually is, which you wouldn't be able to do with your normal watch, because it only does 12-hour cycles. So yeah, that's really useful and actually a really cool feature that is not featured on any other Rolex model, which is really nice. Not really a surprise because, well, there isn't really any Rolex model that features of another Rolex model that are actually specific features to that watch. I think you get what I mean. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. We're going to do a little bit of a review on the watch in today's video, and we are going to start right now with the watch itself. Yeah, for that we're going to get it out and going to take a closer look at it. The case of this watch is obviously made out of 904L oyster steel, as well as the bracelet, which makes it a really corrosion resistant watch, which can be really useful if you want to wear the watch, for example, when you're going swimming in the ocean or something like that, where there's great potential for corrosion. Not really going to happen with this watch. However, you should give it a good rinse after you did that, because it's obviously there's a lot of moving parts on the watch, and you don't really want to have salt in them and have them get kind of like grimy and stuff like that, because it can grind on each other. There are no bearings in these links and stuff like that, so you should just be careful of that. Just rinse it with water and it's gonna be totally fine. If you choose to do that, I usually don't go swimming with my watch on, but you can. It's definitely possible that you can do that with this watch. Absolutely no problem with that. Yeah, besides that, the watch obviously has a Cyclops lens, which makes it easier for you to take a look at the date, which I never do, but some people definitely do. So that's a really nice function. And inside the watch is the Great Movement Caliber 3285, which is obviously CRSC certified as a superlative chronometer. Really cool movement in my opinion, because it actually has a 70+ hour power reserve, which makes it really easy to keep the watch pretty much running forever if you want to wear it every day. And yeah, that is a really cool thing. Obviously, you know, that was just hypothetically, because you would have to reset the watch every now and then, because even a really good watch with a really good movement is not going to keep 100% perfect time. So keep that in mind. The dial of the watch, as well as the little hour and second and minute hands, as well as the 24-hour hand, all have blue luminescence. If you can maybe spot that a little bit. I haven't had the watch out for a longer time, but it's blue, trust me on that. And it's actually really easy to spot it in the dark. I did try that once, and that worked an absolute treat. Besides that, there should also not really be an issue to take your watch into the water. It should really have no issues going into depths below 100 meters. Most likely way more than that, but you know, they are not marketed with a real, like, you know, as a submariner or the Sea Dweller with like 300 or 1,200 meters and stuff like that. They aren't really marketed with that. However, it's safe to assume that you can take this watch deeper than 100 meters. Would I try to do that? Probably not. I mean, you could probably do that. I don't know how many people actually do stuff like that. I certainly wouldn't, but you can. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. And definitely something that you can do with this watch without really any problem. The watch is also fitted with an EasyLink attachment. You could remove that in theory. I'm not sure why you would want to. I think it slims down the bracelet a little bit. I'm going to show you that in just a second here. So yeah, you could remove it. Not sure why you would do that. I have never really thought about doing that, but it's definitely something that you can remove, and it's something that would give you about 5 millimeters more or 5 millimeters less slack in your bracelet. So yeah, it's pretty much just, you know, your standard EasyLink attachment, just like that. This is this little thing. You can fold it over like this, and it clicks into place, and now the watch is a little bit smaller, and you can also just pull it out, and then your watch is a little bit bigger. It's not going to make a huge difference, so it's not like you could use that to switch the watch in like real like sizes for other people's wrists. Not really. I mean, maybe, but it's really just a thing that you can use to adjust the size of your bracelet if you're going into like summer or into winter, where, you know, bracelet shrinks or grows a little bit, just because of the warmth and stuff like that. And it's also just a little bit more comfortable to wear a watch that's not as tight on your wrist in the summer, where you can get a little bit sweaty and stuff like that. So it's definitely a really cool thing, and it's definitely something that is really useful. Now let's get to the price of the watch. Back in the day when I bought this watch, which is like, I mean, come on, like 3 or 4 months ago, like honestly nothing, probably a little bit more than that. But back then the watch was actually under 8,000 euros. I paid exactly 7,950 euros for this watch. Now you can only buy it for 8,800. So it got a pretty hefty price increase. But honestly, you know, who really cares? Because the moment you walk out of your dealership with this watch, it's pretty much worth double. So is it really something that matters? No, because these watches have such an amazing value increase. Honestly, not sure why, to be honest, because, well, you can just go to a dealership, register your name, wait like a few years and get one. But obviously, if you don't want to do that, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a bit of a premium. Well, a huge bit of a premium, actually. You know, this watch pretty much goes for like 14 to 15,000 euros new here at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty hefty. That's not quite double, but it's also not really going down in price anytime soon. Actually, I have seen them go up and up and up over the last couple of months, because obviously this is one of the last Rolex models that you can pick up aftermarket, like new on the secondary market, for less than double of its original retail price. Of course, you can pick up oysters and stuff like that, just your normal Oyster Perpetual, easily, yeah, for less than double of their original retail price, but all of the sports models not really, and also some of the rare models also not. So yeah, this is one of the pretty good bang for your buck watches, I guess one could say, if you want to buy it on the secondary market. If you want to buy it in an AD, it should probably be described as the watch that is the easiest to get out of the sports models. Why? Well, because it's not that high in demand in comparison to, like, for example, a Submariner or GMT Master. Yeah, doesn't matter if BLNR or BLRO, they pretty much are all very expensive if you want to buy them new on the secondary market. This one is not. So, or let me put it this way, it's not as expensive. It still is expensive, but it's not as expensive. So I really think this is a really good deal that you can pick up at the moment. And obviously it's a Rolex. It's gonna last for a crap ton of years, and it's probably gonna live longer than you. So it's something for generations, and something that can definitely be something that goes along with you on your entire life. Not that any other watches couldn't also do that, but especially Rolex, these watches are made to be extremely tough. We all know that. They are maybe not the most complicated, maybe not the most beautiful. That always depends on your personal perspective on stuff like that, but they are definitely, in my opinion, the watches with the most potential of longevity. But that's obviously also to be determined at a later point. So yeah, that's pretty much my review. I'm pretty sure that I forgot some important things, and if there's something important that you think should be in this video, just write it in the comments below, and someone that might be searching for it can then read about it down there. That would be a really cool thing. And also, if you want to rate the video with either like a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you can also do that. That would be a really cool thing as well. And also subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any other videos, because I've got some really cool watch related videos coming soon. Also some more unboxings of some really beautiful watches that I was recently able to purchase. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic week, and until next time.